Oh, share. Okay. I can do that. Fetch picker. What up, Freddie? Welcome back, Fred. It's 2 days in a row. I figured I couldn't fall asleep. Try. I might as well go back to streaming. I couldn't reach all the way over to my computer, so thank you, brother. Thank you, my brother. How are you, my brethren? Let's see. What am I looking at? Video, turning time to create, highlight, green screen, lighting. How's just lighting? Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Had a little bit of a stream earlier. Supposedly we got this big ice storm coming in, but it looks like maybe that's not happening anymore. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make coffee. It's ringing a bell. Third men factor. Third men factor. It's ringing a bell, but it's not. It ain't landing. Hold on a second. Let's look it up. Third men factor. Oops. Computer power. What up, Noms? Oh, come on. Oh, what a pain in the freaking ass. Something has happened. Alright, let's see. 1 second. Hit the like button, Noms. Hold on a second. This might flash off for a second. Oops. There we go. Continue. Oh, so stupid. This is so stupid. Letters and symbols. Okay, there we go. My bad. All right, you said third men or third man? I guess I'll look at both. Third men factor. Birdmen. Third men factor. Third man factor is a documented phenomenon where individuals in extreme life-threatening situations, such as mountaineering, shipwreck, or as author John, perceive an unseen benevolent appearance of also God, third man syndrome. Yeah. I don't call it third man factor. It's called guiding spirit, or what do you call the thing that what do you call the guardian angel? Guardian angel. Yeah, same thing. What up, Justice? Is your son a YouTuber? I ain't got no kids. He's sleeping. I took his phone. How are you, Noms? I took his phone. All right, let me get this. What's going on, Michael? How are you? All right, let's see how to do this. Yeah. Where's my Twitch? I'm at my Twitch, my wackadoodle. Oh, damn it, I always do that. Okay. Oops. Copy. There we go. All right, sorry, my bad. We'll be back. It's 7:44 p.m. It's 10:44 p.m. where I'm at. Are you on the West Coast? I'm in Georgia. What up, Andrew? What we learning today? We're about to make coffee. It's 10:44 p.m. I was going to try to go to sleep early. Are you in California or on the West Coast? I'm guessing. All right, let's see. Oh, hold on. There we go. Oh, I wonder if I should. Wonder if I should. Never change that profile picture. You talking about the profile picture, or are you talking about you talking about the profile picture? Or you talking about the thumbnail picture? What is this? Bobodi? Not much. Welcome to 110 Crave Bobodi. Yeah, you think I should have some coffee noms? I'm gonna just keep going till like 4 o'clock in the morning. Make him do a 6 hour stream, 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Oh, the picture, yeah, it's a good one. How are you? How are you? How are you? What is this? Coffee any time of the day. All right, you talked me into it, Babodi. Uh-oh, I can't see. I can't see. Do you see what I see? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What you doing, cat? Okay. Coffee, beer, potato chips, Garfield books, and run for the midnight stream. What's up, Wafa? Ain't seen you in a while. Savage. Welcome back, Savage. What up, Cora? Is coffee good for you? Yeah. I mean, it depends how much bull crap you put in it, but yeah, not like Starbucks and stuff like that. But if you get like ground coffee, yeah, and especially if you put a bunch of cocoa in it. Cigarettes, winter cartoons, and freeze it candle, big balloons. What you see is what you get. Yes, yes. So interesting thing about coffee: the darker the roast, the weaker the coffee. The darker the roast, the stronger chemically the coffee is, and the weaker the taste of the coffee is. The darker the roast, it cooks out, it breaks down a lot of the chemistry in it. So you the caffeines and the terpenes and whatnot that's in coffee. If you get a dark roast or extra dark roast, it cooks it really long, so it's almost like charcoal. So it's not really good. So light roast, medium roast has more caffeine. It's a strong caffeine, not strong. The stronger the taste of the coffee, so the darker the roast of the coffee, the weaker the caffeine content. The heat destroys the caffeine. So the longer they roast it, the darker they roast it, the stronger the taste, but the weaker the actual coffee. Away. Grab some water up out of here. There we go. And so I usually put enough coffee in it to make a pot of coffee, but I only made 2 cups. And then I drink the whole thing. So it's 2 cups brewed worth of coffee, but it fits in a pint glass, so I like it. So I don't like coffee, so I usually, I always add a big ass scoop of cocoa to it, and then sugar, so it tastes like chocolate milk. I like my coffee black. Not me, dude. I can't do it. I do not like the taste of coffee. So you'll see how I make it in just a second. My dad likes black coffee too. Your dad, yeah. A lot of people do. Yeah. I tried to fall asleep, and I couldn't fall asleep, so I figured I'd stream again. How you doing, B2B? Ice in the chat. I got coffee in the chat. All right, so then big old scoop of freaking big old scoop of cocoa. And now we wait. What up, Yogi? Richard's energy is very low right now. It is. Tis low. Tis low. Yeah, no big deal. Yeah. I mean, you gotta choose you gotta choose. So listen, you gotta choose when to put your time in, when you're gonna work, when you're gonna produce, and when you're gonna sleep. If I can't fall asleep, I'm not gonna sit there and fight falling asleep for an hour or two. I'm gonna freaking make some videos, get streaming. So my life story, okay, dropped out of high school after 11th grade, took one semester in college, left there, started playing in a band and worked around a bunch of jobs, worked a graphic designer, worked in moto photo, worked at Ritz Camera. And then I toured musically from 19 to 26. Then I worked for the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore. And then I moved to Georgia and I started an IT. Well, I worked with an IT company. I was kind of a partner in. It was just a bunch of guys doing IT work. And then from there to the movie industry for the past 15 years. Just left the movie industry to do YouTube full time. What up from Aglioli Olivio? What's pretty stupid? You look like one of those Area 51 MK Ultra scientists. We got some love. I am Optimus Prime. I am Optimus Prime. I was a bard, level 12. Chaotic neutral. I think that's the way I actually turned out too. It's easy. It's odd. What instrument I sang? It was punk rock and roll. All right. Yeah, I got a lot of life. I had 25 jobs by my 25th birthday. You like Towns, XTC? I was Druid leveled 18. You might be with me. I have Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. Oh, Legos. Wow. I've had lots of Legos. Never had Transformer Legos. You either die or get life experience, one way or the other. Um, You can. So that's what my parents do. My parents have like this. Well, no, I'm looking for it. They have this really dark chocolate filter, really dark chocolate, and they put it in with the grounds. I like mine. Like they use like an they use like an eighth what I use. No, no, it's like not even. It's like 40 degrees right now, and here in Georgia makes a mess. And I was in a rock band. Samoan cocoa. Oh man, look at that. I need to get some milk real quick. Farting on stream. There we go. All right, there we go. Now it's nice and warm. I like jazz. I'm a fan of jazz. Um, I almost got in D&D. Met a cool lady. I was supposed to join, lost her contact, never saw her again. Fate guided me to better hobbies, like being depressed and rock collecting. My advice to my 30-year-old younger self: learn to fail. Love it. Don't be afraid to try. Failure just proves that you tried. Most people that I've met in life never tried anything. They just rot. They just work for people and rot. Yeah, most people don't try anything. And remember, you can't fail unless you try. You typically can't succeed unless you have failed to succeed. And then, listen, the people that don't go to school, the people that do go to schools and colleges end up being employees typically. The people that do things on their own don't have that wackadoodle map to follow into employment. So try something, fail at it, figure out why you failed, try again, fail again, and keep failing to succeed to succeed. Your racks are lit. Your racks are lit. Get a ton of quartz, QUARTZ, where I live. Found a blue one. I don't know what it is, but it's blue. Blue quartz is topaz, right? Emerald. Blue topaz. So blue. See the blue topaz. Yeah. Yeah. Rocks are lit as long as you don't smoke them. All right. I'm one of those guys just graduated from college and got in the job market. I understand, dude. I'm so glad I failed at school. I'm so glad. Okay. Oh, you talking about Minecraft? um, yeah, I'm so glad I failed at school. Dude, I don't know why, but I loved learning, and school was not the place to learn for me. Absolutely not. Like I could not sit there for an hour and learn math and then an hour and learn science. I wanted to learn science and then say, I can't figure this out. How do I figure this out? Well, you need this equation. So let me learn that equation, not let me learn algebra one and then say, no, it didn't work for me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't learn away. One can never grow up without failure. That's how we grow. That's exactly right. Would never date a guy. You would never date a guy? Oh, would I ever date a guy? Dude, no, I wouldn't date a guy. I wouldn't date a girl. Listen, not until things straighten up. There's so many people that are just so. The dating market is trash, gay and straight, trash. Everybody is trash. The dating apps are trash. Everybody is all about themselves and what they can put, like what they can get from other people. Yeah, no. So my plan is I'm not I'm the next 3 years I'm going to build as much as I can, do as much content as I can, network as much as I can. Then I'm going to start looking into settling down. I'm not into the dating thing. Look, I did it in my freaking 20s and 30s. It was a waste of time. If I wouldn't have been chasing ass, I would have been way farther now. That's what they want everybody to do is chase ass and consider they want the people that run things want you to think you get a reward. Instead of them paying you money for a reward, your reward is getting sex from some guy or some girl. So they're rewarding you with other people's bodies. It's like so. Hey, you're great. You get ass. You get pussy. You're cool. No. Then you never compete with them because you're too busy running around spending all your money on guys and girls. So then you never get anywhere, and then you'll never compete with those that are there. And it's on purpose. They don't want the competition, so they have you guys spending money on nails and makeup and everything just to for guys and for girls. This stream is chill, very human. Most streams are just screaming, constant brain rot. I feel you, brother. Shoot your shot. I'm gonna try to run game. Adam. What up, Emma? How about Transformers, Richard? I've never had I've never had a Transformer. You talking about for Legos? Oh, trans people. I'm trying to find one true love, and it's not going to be with me, Jason. I listen. If you guys look, one of the if I you should see my DMs on Discord. I have to tell people, look, like see people like okay, first okay, so Jay, for instance, you just have a J for a profile picture. Most people have like cartoon characters, anime characters, and they're like, I really like you. This is that. I'm like, I don't even know how old you are. I don't know what you look like. I don't know if you're a man or a woman. I have no idea who I'm talking. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general. And then they're like, do you have Snapchat? And I'm like, listen, no. The answer is no. The answer is no to people that
local to me, foreign and domestic in the United States? The answer is no. I am not touching nobody else until I'm ready to get married. I understand trying to find true love. Dating is a hellscape. Yeah, it's stupid. It's a waste. It's a waste of time. Listen, it got turned into prostitution. So now instead of pimps and hoes, it's apps and hoes. But the guys and the girls are the hoes because they want you to keep paying subscription services, their subscription fee for the app. If you find somebody on the app, they lose money. So the algorithm is set up to match you with people that you're not compatible with. So then you keep coming back to the app and you're like, oh, try again. What up, Emma? The difference between a pro and an amateur is that a pro can fix their fuck ups. A boss tell me every time. I feel down. I'm retired now, so I retired from the movie industry. I just basically didn't take the next film last January, and I've been doing YouTube ever since. If you're happy to be single, right? Yeah, right. I know I don't want to be single eventually, but there's no way I'm not spending a dime on a date. I'm not going out for some ass, nothing like that. I'm going to build myself up, my company's up, everything, and get to where I want to be. And then when somebody says, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Okay, let's relax. Let me find somebody now." Then I'll try to find somebody. Not like you get women that are dating guys, like women that want to be moms eventually are dating people just to bang, and they're spending thousands of dollars on makeup and nails and wigs and shit. You're blowing your money on bullshit that doesn't matter. 'Cause, oh, well, I got laid. I got laid with 97 guys last year. Congratulations. What has that done for your future? Nothing. Okay. You know, right. So I'm 100% on growth right now. It's almost a simulation. You can't lie. Feels like it sometimes. I like this perspective. The best pro action athletes only got good because they were willing to fail harder. Right. Because they failed over and over and over, but they kept getting up. A lot of them are just too stupid to realize but that was fine because they got great. Have you worked on a lot of things? I've worked on Avengers Endgame. I've worked on Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and 3, Suicide Squad 2. Um, Jumanji 2, Jungle Cruise, Stranger Things. What did you do in the movie industry? A prop maker, sets and props. Met a girl on Instagram 3 months, like fishing. If you aren't fishing to eat, you throw them back. Right, but it costs so much to fish. Right, while you're fishing, you're spending hundreds of dollars on dates, and then you're like, "Well, oh, look at in this car." So you get your car detailed, and you buy new cars, buy new houses for the dates that you're just gonna bang. Doesn't make any sense. No, no. And all these women online talk about they're not going to get married till they're 30. Then what are you doing in your 20s on dating apps? But TikTok said. Yeah, TikTok said. Can you say my name? I love baseball. No, no dates for no, no dates. No, you got to. We got to yellow. You got to eat some yellow snow today, Steve Bano. Yeah, listen, it's not hard to disagree with. The problem is every day we're swipe, brain rot, relationship advice, brain rot, incorrect relationship advice. Remember, influencers are paid to influence you to spend your money a certain way or to vote a certain way. So only the people that have companies and whatnot. I mean, do you know that Instagram Meta trained their AI on Instagram girls. The girls that thought they had 70 guys in their DMs and were like, I don't need no man. I got any man I want. No, you didn't. 90% of those were fake. That's why when you went out to go meet them, they ghosted you. It wasn't humans ghosting you. It was the end of the program for the algorithm. After they learned how to communicate back and forth with people using you for free, and then once you said, well, let's meet this place, that place, this place, and you other girls that complain, why don't men ever say, why don't we go on the first date? Because they're AI. They're just text. And then like, so yeah, I have a lab coat. Everyone's a relationship advisor nowadays on Instagram. I study AI a lot. It's a deep rabbit hole. It's a deep rabbit hole. What up, Sponge, brother? It's definitely a deep rabbit hole. It's absolutely crazy. And the thing is that like they thank you, Blair. Thank you, Blair. Bear, Bair of the Stallone. I met my husband on chat. No, no, and because you were in chat, you already had something in common. Not a dating app, I'm guessing. So you guys had something in common. Like you like the same media, you like the same shows and whatnot. Like back in the day when we had like Blockbusters and movie rental houses, that's where a lot of people met their wives and husbands and partners because you're there for an hour deciding what movie you want to get in the horror section or the comedy section, and you see somebody there that's kind of cute, and then the next day or 2 days later you return it and you see them again, and then a month later they're there again, and then you're like, hey, you're always here in the comedy section. You're like, yeah, there's you do. And now you have something in common. Not, oh, nice ass. Nice freaking, yeah, yeah. That don't work. Do you like Tic Tac? No, not really. I don't dislike it, but I spend my time on YouTube. Dad, when you bringing the milk home? What up, Cal? What up, Kurt? Kurt, meet your brother Cal. I'm sorry I had to tell you this way. I'm sorry I had to tell you this way. Yeah, it was like 28 years ago. Right. So you guys had something in common. And then a relationship developed. And it probably developed slowly in chat and then developed. But people are just like, oh, nice butt on Instagram, nice butt on Tinder. Let's get together, bang out on the first night, and then say, well, what do we have in common? Well, I'm a vegan. Oh, well, I'm a freaking butcher. It's like you already had your legs wrapped around somebody's head, and yeah, and they're like, and then it's told that that's cool. Like that's cool. No, no, no. You're told it's cool by influencers that are there to influence you to spend your money. Yeah, you gotta have a roster. That way, you always gotta have $100 worth of makeup on your face every day, and then you spend more money, more perfume, more cologne, more. Yeah, it's just buy, 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 buy. The second I finish, I close the tab. Bubba Ross. What up? Why the long face? What's up? The mailman left soon after you left. Can you come back home now? Let me finish my coffee, son. Son. Okay. Okay. Let's. All right. Let's get back in the studio. Let's see if I don't step on my cat. Oh, jeez. Jeez. Where's the cat? Where's the cat? Studio. Studio. Okay. All right, there we go. All right. Who said they subbed earlier? Who said they subbed and they love it? BAIR. Bill Nye the Science Guy. I get that a lot. BAIR. Bear. I got you, Bear. Bill, you sub to BMX. BMX, I think I already got you up there, but. All right, BMX, my brethren. Bill. TYN. TYNLE. Tina Lee. No problem, brother. Glad to help. Oh. Glad to help. Oop. Ow. Man. USAV. I'm a clown. It's all right, Callie. You're my son. What's USAV? You said Teen Lay is wrong. You said, oh, I said it wrong. I would imagine I did. I got no idea. Teen Lay? Tyne Lay? Tyne Lay? Science rule. Make sure to thumbs up the video. Hey, now Cal is getting back into it. What do you want on the wall, Cal? What's going on, Palab? No close? Tylee?
doing, Jimmy Neutron? How about that? All right, Bumba Rosa. I got you, my brethren. Okay, so I got a Cal. Cal. I got Cal, and I got, how do I spell Bumba Rosa? B-U-M-B. Bumba, R-O-S-S-A. O-O-S-S. Bumba Ross. There we go. Don't stop talking. I'm almost finished. Kurt, this is your father. I've always loved you. Can you please do my sister? Can you mean write your sister on the wall? What's your sister's name? Carmen. Carmen. All right, I got Carmen. You're my sister. What up, pig? Big pig. Big pig. I'll put pig over here. What up, pig? Big pig. My sister. You're gonna get me fired. Can never be found. Maybe Ashley, come back tomorrow and we'll do 2 more. All right, I'm on here every day, and if anyone's got Twitch, I've got. If anyone's got Twitch, I can post my Twitch link too. I'm 1 follower away from my 19 goal. Thank you, brother. So if you have Discord, you can join the Discord, and it'll tell you when I go live. But it's usually I'm on like 10 hours a day. Today, because of the storm coming through, I only did a few hours at night. But I'm usually on like 10 to 12 hours a day. Sir, the reminders in the chat. Yeah, they gotta be over 13, right? Jamming for real. Let's see. So if anybody wants Twitch, where's that? Oh, okay. If somebody somebody let me know if they do it, because I want to know who my 19th follower is. Okay, I'll pin both. I'll pin the Discord and the Twitch. I blame the president, the parents. I blame the parents. There we go. Okay. And are my girls okay? It's a cruel world. There's no snow yet. You fractured your hip. That's no bueno. That's no bueno. Okay, somebody join the Discord. Hello, Lolly. Yeah, let me know who joins the Twitch though, and then eat milk. Oh, dude. Okay, so talking about eating milk, let's talk about that for a second. So there is a liquor shot, an adult beverage, where they put cream in the bottom of the shot glass. Then they dribble vodka and I want to say sour mix on it, and it curdles it into basically like an instant cheese. It's so disgusting. You have to chew the drink before you swallow it. Where are you at? I've been shoveling snow all day. Got about 15 inches, dude. Yeah, that's freaking. Yeah, chew. It's disgusting. I hit you with a Twitch follow. BOOB Bobbity. BOB Bobbity. Okay. BOBO. What am I doing wrong here? BOBODY. Bobody. Twitch. Oh, there we go. All right, I got you. I'll remember you forever. I'll remember you forever, my brother. Bodie. Is that the way you spell it or pronounce it? Bodie. Gotcha. Dude, did you ever see the guy? He had a viral couple of minutes on or viral video He mixed Pepsi and pickle juice. Hairy balls, bro. Yo, sick glasses, my dude. I was wondering if you can explain this to. But what I miss. If you can explain. Hold on, my dude. I wonder if you can explain why this is doing this when that isn't even that. Brother, this does this when that does that. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Do you like the idea of long, isolated space journey? No, no, absolutely not. What up, mudslinger? Pronounce Bodhi as like body. Bobody. Bobody. Gotcha. Bobody. Gotcha. Pilk. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not interested at all. Listen, I'll hold it down here on Earth. Okay, we just got a warning, record low tomorrow. So it's supposed to get 15. Okay, so it was okay. So it gets to 27 tonight, and it's got a high of freezing tomorrow, and a low of obviously below freezing, negative or negative 15 degrees. That shit crying. Put on school tomorrow because of the snow. Oh, I can't see your crush. What up, upstate? Do you think we are all alone in the universe? Yes. Well, let me redefine that. Yes, I think, and I think the older I get, the more real angels and demons are. And it's only something that I've got over the past 3 years. I think, not like biblical flying around with wings. I think they're in spacecraft. I think that if like you've ever read the Bible and like the freaking battles and whatnot that's in that, I think that's the aliens are. I think when they said they're like it's like the bad aliens that come. So I think we're the only humans in the universe. Aliens for real. Negative 22 frequency Forge. Where are you at? Jesus, hell, not negative 22. We have cold air. Well, you must be today with a high of 10 and negative 8 real feel. Garth, what's up, Larry? Alone or not, both terrifying. Right. So if we're not alone, hold on one second. If we're not alone, sorry, then whoever comes to visit us is way the hell more technologically advanced. And we're all going to be freaking polishing spacecraft. New Hampshire. What up, Void? Welcome back, brethren. I almost got heat stroke in my room yesterday. It was fun. Anunnaki. So you're on it, Noms. Yeah, maybe either ape, alien, or Adam. Okay, Adam. And I also think, okay, we were definitely seeded on this planet, regardless of what you guys think about evolution or whatever. The Adam and Eve, it's almost like if we were an experiment, and then Adam and Eve were placed. I still have a lot of reading to do, but I'm definitely going towards I used to have a thing like no, you guys are idiots. Religion's to control people. You guys are dumb. And then the more I read about it, I'm like, okay, maybe this is metaphor. Maybe this is somebody explaining how things actually work. And when you do the math, it actually works. And it actually works to come from two people. It's not the nicest thing to hear about. Like you have to marry your sister and stuff like that, but it could work. But that's happening today. What people fail to realize is that the more technologically advanced is required in this first civilization, the more supernatural advanced, more the spiritual advance, right? Diddy Blood started reading. Most random channel ever. Hello, my friend. How do you think about Optimus Bot? Dude, it's
pretty freaking amazing. And did you hear he just said they're going to try to cure aging? Like there was something about like he said we all like we our whole bodies age at the same rate. Like you've never seen somebody with a 15-year-old arm and a 60-year-old arm. Like one arm act. So that means that we have to have a timer somewhere in our body that keeps in sync aging for all of our cells. And if he can find that clock, he can turn off or reverse aging. I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. Am I sleeping right now, dreaming this stuff? Like, this is the stuff you would have expected to happen. But yeah, Christ is Lord, my friend HF. Yes, but how would we explain all the fossil evidence to support the case of evolution? Do you know, Babodi, do you know that we found meat in 2006 in a Tyrannosaurus Rex? The fossils aren't as old as they say they are. And the way that they age them, the way that they got around to being able to radiologically age them is by saying you can only do carbon-14 aging on soft tissue, on organic matter, not on rock, not on fossils. So they had to count the layers of rock and guess how, and an educated guess. We're finding meat along with these things. They're not as old as they think they are. It's unbelievable. The evidence for them being wrong about evolution is much greater than the evidence for evolution now. It's flipped in the past 10 years. And only people that keep up with it, 'cause they're not going to, they sell courses, they sell millions of dollars in textbooks on evolution to colleges and college courses. They make hundreds of millions of dollars on it. So they're not going to change the curriculum. And I heard some dudes tried mammoth. Hello, second time stopped in. The first time I let you know I was a stroke survivor. I remember that, Blue Sky. You told me to check out my K. Something, can you please say something to test the K? Something. Just take it. Just take it. You don't have to get tested for it. You can just start taking vitamin K2 M. I'll post it in the chat. Vitamin K2 MK7. I'll post it in the chat. You don't have to get tested for it. It's just a vitamin. Yeah, so I would just start taking it. K2 MK7. Yeah, how you doing, Blue Sky? Yeah, so yeah, you don't have to get tested. Yeah, it's just a vitamin, just like you would start taking a multivitamin or whatever. Just yeah. I'm concerned about AI with quantum computing. Could you please could open up a new revolution? Yes, and it will. It absolutely will. But I think a lot of it's going to fall apart too. Sometimes I think I evolved from mentally challenged squirrel. How you doing? Thank you, Joey. No, I'm neither. Dino nuggets are far away. MK, please don't look behind you, but it's a spider on the wall. There's a lot of spiders on that wall and under my bed. You see it? It's horrible. What would you do if I donated $500? I would thank you very much. I'd spray paint your name up there with Space Cowboy, Basket Bros. What in the actual F are you on about? If you listen, you'd know, Joe. Why don't you rewind it? Rewind and find out. If anyone can prove me wrong, if anyone said anything I said was untrue, you've got my email. Send me a link to my email, 110thgrade@gmail.com. I'll send you $20. Yapping and being gay. Being gay. So if you want to learn something interesting about projection, like why people call people gay so much, it's usually what's called a litmus test. So if they want to touch some guy on the butthole, they start saying, dude, you look gay. And be like, well, dude, I kind of do like, they're like, can I get your DMs, dude? I'm the same way. I just didn't know how to express myself. I'm so violent in my mind. Thank you. Okay. At K2MK7. Yes, Blue Sky. Absolutely. And if you need any assistance, if you have Discord, Blue Sky, you can send me if you need to communicate, even when I'm not online. I'll let you know where I got mine and whatever, or you know. But yeah, it's a normal everyday. It's just very unpopular for people to hear about. Rewind to find out. He's not your type, Joe. Dude, listen, some people have a big problem. They have a big problem with me not being colleged. I think, and it's embarrassing for some people. Some people are like, dude, I got a PhD, and then I say something that wasn't in their PhD curriculum that they should have known, but it wasn't taught to them in school because they don't teach you everything in school. They teach you what's going to make you a better consumer. And yeah, and they get mad. They get so pissed. They're like, "You're just so," and then they start saying you got a big nose and you're gay and you probably freaking yeah. Also, so if fossils are younger than they say they are, then how would we? How and then how? Hold on. So if fossils are younger than they say they are, how would they say they are? Maybe let me show you real quick. Okay. Okay. Soft tissues found in Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay. Soft tissues, including flexible blood vessels, collagen fiber, and potential blood cells, were discovered in a 68 million year Tyrannosaurus in 2005. These are, but it's now challenging the long held assumptions about the decay over geologic time. They don't know. It's a guess. It was a guess. They thought they could count down the number of layers of rock to see how old something was because they cannot radiologically date it. You cannot carbon-14 date something that's older than, I think it's 6,000 or 7,000 years. So they guess. They say they can't measure. They can't. There's no carbon-14 left. So they can't. So they extrapolate, they paint a picture, they're storytellers. They're saying, well, if it didn't run out and it kept going down, then it would probably be 25 million years old. Who told you that? Squirrel. Yeah, and working in the movie industry for 15 years, we worked with politicians and social manipulation and propaganda. It's all what'll sell the most. Because listen, it doesn't matter. They're not telling you or me about them being 25 million years old so that we know this scientific data. They want you to be interested and they go buy a book that they wrote saying, wow, I found 25. And they're like Indiana Jones. They dug in the dirt, they found this, and it's 25 million years old. But it's not 25 million years old. There's no way to prove that. There is zero way to prove it. And there's all kinds of stuff that's been found in the past couple of years. They say that coal is 100 million years old. So there should be zero carbon-14 in coal, but they find it in coal. Yeah. So there's all kinds of bullcrap out there. And if I was never in the movie industry and never learned about how they twist stuff and how they use the word theory enough to make everybody think that theories mean fact, it just means it's written in a book somewhere. But it can also be make-believe. Like, so according to my research, it appears that this thing's 25 million years old. Buy my book at Amazon, link in the description. Yeah, carbon dating is inherently flawed, right? Yeah, but you could say the same thing about the other side. People refuting the age of fossils want to sell you their books. Right. But the thing is, the people refuting it have evidence for it, not theory. You know what I mean? But both are marketing. Everything's marketing. Everything's manipulation. It's up to you to read both to find out what the truth is. But does it matter to you? Are you going to spend $20 on this book and $20 on this book then just to know that, wow, they're lying about the age of this particular dinosaur here? Wonder why they're doing that. And then never know the reason, you know? So it's like I use my brain power on other stuff. Let me see. Has any carbon-14 been found in diamonds? Diamonds. I can't say diamonds properly. Okay, so here. Yes, measurable levels of carbon-14 have been detected in natural diamonds, often cited by creation researchers as evidence for a young Earth, because carbon-14 should decay completely within 100,000 years. However, mainstream science considers this trace amount to be contamination, but they don't know where it's contaminated from. It's either contaminated or they're wrong, right? And that's the problem, is there's no surefire way to know. Chicken's doing good, poke bones, brother. I got 8 of them sometimes. Bosnian Squid, welcome back. We're talking about freaking dinosaur bones. Just like they've got all this evidence that I'm a schizophrenic psychopath. Big pharma can't fool me. Yeah, Bodhi, theory is supported by empirical evidence, but so is the other theory. They choose what to publish. They choose what to publish, and it's for financial reasons, political reasons. People do this. People don't go to school and spend $100,000 on school to not make money. They need to make that money back. And the problem is there is evidence for both. The big problem is no one was there to tell us. Oh yeah, it was there when I was around here 25 million years ago. I stopped by to see Aunt Beth. Yeah, he was over there. The big ass freaking tire. That didn't happen, and there is no absolute way. And so I mean, they're both cool stories, but the problem is if you want truth, neither one is the truth. Neither one can say it's the truth. Neither one can say. Because science always changes. Remember, science said there was no way there would ever be, mainstream science always said we would never find soft tissue in dinosaur bones because it cannot last that long. Then they found it, and they were like, I guess we can. So science is only fact till they find a different piece of evidence that proves it the other way. But it's not worth arguing over. I can snort diamonds. I'm getting this feeling that Rich can't type. He always uses his voice. Yeah, I can actually type pretty good. Yeah, I get your point. They sent me to Afghanistan with the CIA with millions of taxpayer money. They sent a lot. You and a bunch of buddies, I bet. Please don't talk about chickens. What's wrong with my chickens? I've got 8 hens. I get eggs every day. I have 8 hens out back right now. I built a coop. 100%. Not lying to you at all. I 100% have chickens. I can show you right now. Well, those are my eggs, but where are my chickens? There you go. I'll break it. Uh-oh, I think I broke it. How did that work? Combined liquid chickens, I lost all of them, but ones have gotten out when they put. Oh, I think you mentioned that the other day, Curtis. If you're saying that, why doesn't that work? Green screen. What up, dude? Why isn't my green screen working? Huh. Done? Huh. I don't know why it's not working. Anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, I do. I have some scroll down the chat. Scroll in the chat. Hold on. Okay, no, just asked him not to talk about chickens because I had a bad experience. Okay, I understand. Because I had a bad experience about putting the dog locked inside my chicken coop all day. Sorry about that, brother. Come on, liquid chicken. That sounds like, yep, that sounds bad. Sorry about that. What's up, you? Time to get the dog for doing sounds things. Very horrible. Yes, but yeah, brother, I have 8 hens, and I would be absolutely mortified if that happened. Green screen unk. 6 footballs could protect my lifestyle. What up, Brett? Carbon dating isn't the only way to date specimen. Tell me what elements they use for dating, though, Bobity. Tell me what they use, and every element has a half-life, but not like you're not going to find uranium, right? That has a long, half-life. And you don't know the reason you have to use carbon-14 is because carbon-14 comes from the environment in the sun. It only gathers while you're alive.
Once you take your last bite of food and die, you're not putting any more carbon 14 into your system. So you go into a box and it starts decaying. So if they find any other element that was near the rock or near the fossil, it has to have been an element that they put in their own body. That's why they use carbon 14. I had a band called Carbon 14. I know a shit ton about it, more than I should know. I had two of them from Russia. Wow. I would do 5 Doberman pit bulls. I've been even number of schooling animals. Yeah. Remind me of Crazy Steve from Drake and Josh. Skinwalkers are related to Native Americans. Yes, Freddie. Right. So
Uranium is toxic to the human body, to living systems, and so is lead. So they're not, unless this one in particular happened to eat some lead, it wouldn't be in their body. You understand what I'm saying? So the reason carbon 14 works is because when we eat spinach, we're putting carbon 14 that leaf made in the environment, and once it goes underground, it's done. The clock for carbon 14 starts counting down once it's put into the ground. So then when they dig something up, they can say, now we can test the carbon, because he's dead, he's not eating anything else. Then we can test the carbon 14 in that to see, okay, the last time there's 5,000 units of carbon 14. So at the half-life of it should have been at this. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Skinwalkers talking about carbon. We're talking about carbon. So what's that with being like crude oil? So with that being like crude oil, so right, and the problem is they're finding carbon 14 in crude oil. So crude oil should be the plant matter. It falls off of trees, and the elephants and the whatever, they all fall down, and then it gets covered with something, and then it rots. So the carbon 14 should start counting down. It's got a half-life of what's 4,000 years. What's carbon 14's half-life? Half-life of carbon 14. Okay, it's 5,730 years. So all of it will have been gone in 60,000 years. So if it's older than 60,000 years old, there should be 0 carbon 14 left. But we're finding carbon 14 there, which doesn't make any sense. So that's why carbon 14 can only measure things up to 60,000 years old. They won't guard anything, no matter how training they have. Instincts are. Yes, they have instincts for it. Yeah, I could walk around the hood and find 100 pit bulls and say otherwise in a study. Yeah, this is the problem. This is the problem with education being so expensive. If education was free, you wouldn't have bullshit like this on both sides. Creationist side, because they both paid a bunch for their education, and they want the money back, and then so they'll let things slide, or they'll have a bias they don't even realize they know. It's dinosaurs. I'm free in Germany. But you don't need to date the actual fossil to get an estimate about how old it is. You date the rock layer. Exactly. Now, I want to show you something, Babodi. How do you date a tree that's standing up with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years worth of layers? Over that 100,000 years of all those layers being deposited, the tree would have rotted away and fall down. So you would not ever expect there to be to find a tree standing up, right? Because then you can choose any of those layers to say where it's from. We've found recently trees fossilized standing up. It doesn't work anymore. You can't just count the layers. It was wrong. They were wrong. Petrified, fossilized trees standing up. So these trees, Polly hit the wrong button. So these trees are standing up. So if this layer is 1,000,000 years old, and this one's 100,000 years old, and this one's 10,000 years old, why is the tree still there? Why didn't it rot? If this one's 100,000 years old, then the tree from here up should have rotten and gone away. We're finding trees all over the world that are standing up, and each one of these that they measure, it's incorrect. And here's the problem. If there was a flood in the area, it stirred up the sediment. So the lead that you're talking about can be swished around in the current, and be deposited on different layers. It doesn't work anymore. All dogs should go to be trained. I agree. Yes, I understand that. But using uranium lead dating, you're getting accurate data of the rock. But you're not. But it could be washed around. So you could have a 10 million year old rock that gets washed up here and gets put up here after everything else settles down. Do you understand what I'm saying? So then you're wrong. The problem with saying that this layer is 100 million years old is incorrect. The rock found right there, this rock at that layer was 100,000 years old, but it's because it got washed up. There was earthquakes and yeah, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Petrified fossilized trees standing up sounds like my axe. A petrified tree is mineralized, but it can't mineralize. If this is the tree, and then a bunch of stuff falls 1 million years ago, the rest of the tree is going to rot before it gets buried by the next 999,998, 97. Do you understand what I'm saying? The rest of the tree would have rotted away before it kept building up. This, because we're talking about 100,000 years. You can't mineralize this part of the tree if it's not buried. Only this part is buried 100,000 years ago. So then why did the rest still stay? And there's a bunch of them. So we're wrong about it, is what it is. That's probably caused somebody to cause a collapse. But yes, so the problem is it's wrong. They were wrong, and they're rewriting it. They're actually are currently rewriting all this stuff. Yes, a single rock could be moved somehow, which is quite the mental gymnastics. You think that's mental gymnastics? And if you go across and date the same layer, the same day, that's pretty accurate. Okay, brother. I told you what I know, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. So do with it what you will. You could take all this stuff came out in the past 10 years. You do with it what you will. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna argue with you. Yeah, the problem is it's wrong. The problem is it's wrong. It's wrong, and these are all the things that prove it wrong. All right, so when you find a rock right here that you test, okay, and all these layers. So think about, okay, so say right here, say there was a flood during this area right here. It washed up a bunch of this stuff, and when the flood settled, it leveled in this layer. Do you understand what I'm saying? So here's 1 million year old rock. Then you have floods, and the flood washes it down, and it layers in this layer. Now the rocks that were this old are up here. The dating is incorrect. It's not mental gymnastics. I understand. No, brother. I'm just saying I don't know what other angles to give it for you from. You're saying mental gymnastics. It's absolutely not mental gymnastics. It's absolutely not. It just takes a long time to think through. It's not mental gymnastics. If you have an area, a layer, when you have a flood, you mix up things from the bottom and they settle down in layers by weight. Do you understand? Okay, so now it's not by age, it's by density. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. And this is a big problem because now they have like huge flood lines, and there's only one area. There's only one area that we dig coal from because that's the only flood line or the only area where there was that mixed everything together. And when we dig up coal, we don't find it in shapes of dead dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying? They've been mixed up. So it's like taking lotto balls, and shaking it up to get to randomize it. It's randomized. People said this makes sense. Hey, this rock and this rock, everything on this layer is this age. This must be this old, but it's not. It's not. They find younger stuff under it. But if they publish it saying everything at this layer is 100 million years old, they didn't say everything under it is 150. They just said this layer is 100 million. They do it on purpose. It's incorrect. I'm not in the shape of a dinosaur because it takes a lot of pressure and heat. So you're saying that it deforms, and this is my point. Things don't stay where you put them. Tree becomes petrified through slow fossilization. Slow fossilization. Trees don't stand while they're being fossilized. If the tree's this tall and you have 100,000-year-old rock down here, all of this tree is in the air. It's going to rot. It doesn't get fossilized till it's encased in stone. It would take 100,000 years to layer. This part would be fossilized, and all this wouldn't. It would be rotted away. It got blown over by the wind. Animals would have run into it. It doesn't work, my friend. I love dino juice. If it was done in a quick sediment burial, then it would be uniform. Do you understand? Because it all would have happened at once. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And if the water was hitting it, the trees would have been snapped over if it was a quick sediment bury. And there's too many, maybe one or two, but there's hundreds of them, like volcanic ash or mud. Right, so volcanic ash entombs stuff in the same sediment layer. It's all of the same age. They're saying each layer is a different age, and they're incorrect. So you have in one day, in one big, huge event, you get tons and tons, feet of volcanic ash. You don't get an inch a year of sedimentation, and that's what they're finding. That this didn't happen. It wasn't one uniform big volcanic drop. A volcanic ash mud to block oxygen, prevent rot. No, that's not the way it works. Volcanic ash is highly acidic. It would speed it up. Mineral-rich groundwater seeping and replacing cells. That's if a tree is fallen over. Bears, there's still animals' food in their mouths. What up, Michael? Krakatoa was a big deal, right? So for instance, looking at things like Krakatoa and what was that place? Preserving the wood structure and sometimes adding fiber colors. Ask it about standing trees. How would that work? You're copying and pasting now, and I understand the urge. I understand the urge. Listen, it's okay. Just take a minute to look at it, to do the evidence you're finding is not talking about standing trees. It's talking about trees that are fallen over. When the tree's fallen over, you have a lot of surface area to absorb the minerals through. When the tree is standing up, this part of the tree that's in the ground would become rock, and then the rest of it is no longer sucking up sediment. It kills the tree, and the tree would rot. You can't keep feeding the tree unless the tree's alive. It's not moving sediment up through. It has to be alive or encased. It can't be encased at the same time. Would you want to be fossilized? I'll probably be fossilized. Yeah, it took me 5 years to get my head around this, and I don't expect you to. I just want you to have the information. I understand that that's what I was just saying. The tree is laying down. You're saying it's fertile because it's shifted over time. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it happened faster than they say. I'm saying that all of these layers weren't laid down over hundreds of years. I'm saying it happened at once, and they don't know what they're talking about. The reason they can say that this layer is that old is because they can test nitrogen, nitrogen 14, and lead, polonium lead, I believe. And that's just because they lay in layers because it was all mixed up. And then when it settled by weight. It didn't happen. It wasn't 10,000 years, 9,000 years, 8,000, 7,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000. It can't happen. And trust me, this is huge. When we used to only find trees that have fallen over from, like, they get knocked over from small floods and volcanic blasts, earthquakes, they fall over, or just they rot and fall over. Then they're encased. But the problem is, if this was all one layer, it would make sense, but it's not. they're saying this layer and fossils found at this layer are 10 million years old. And then fossils found at this layer are 5,000 years old. But the tree standing right next to all of that is all the same age. You can count the tree's age with the rings. So the tree did not continue to grow, or else it would look like an upside down or like a V. It would, as this part died and got fossilized, this part would continue to grow, so it would get a little bit fatter, and then a little bit fatter, and fatter, and fatter, and fatter, and fatter, and fatter. I know I didn't ask it how we do the tree. Didn't start laying. It's just scientists say whatever they need to say to keep money coming in. That's 100% right. That's 100% right. In order for you to hear about what they're doing, they have to spend money in marketing and advertising. So they want that money back. The reason you hear about what's going on in research areas is because they want money from it. It's 100%. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying it's the way it is. And come to find out, people jump to conclusions. And now over the past 50, 60 years, the stuff that they put in has been proven to be inconclusive. Göbekli Tepe was completely covered. I believe so. So if you want to talk about what they think that was, they're saying that was a huge flood, a tsunami. So a tsunami took a bunch of sediment from the ocean floor when it was, and then covered Göbekli Tepe. And then, but like if you take a bunch of dirt and you put it in a jar of water and you shake it up and you set it down, it will layer by the weight of the materials in there. If it's all the same mass, then you'll have big layers. How come all of Rome is being dug out to the ground? And why wasn't this done 1,000 years ago? That's a good question. There are trees in Yellowstone that are petrified standing above the surface. There are trees in Yellowstone that are petrified standing above the surface. I don't understand what you're not thinking. I don't understand what you're not thinking. They don't have layers of rock surrounding them. Do you understand what I'm saying? If it is standing above the surface, it got covered by something throughout time, and if it's got these thousands of years or millions of years of rock, the Earth is going to shift. There's tectonic shifts is going to grind it up. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. In the areas where they find them is most likely from flood layering, not from formation over time. And I've never. Let's see. Fossilized standing trees. Okay. And you said where? You said where? Anything? I missed it. Where'd it go? Yellowstone. Okay. Let's see what it says. Fossilized standing trees. Yellowstone. Yellowstone features one of the largest located deposit rich. These 50 million year old trees buried upright by a volcanic mud flow. Then they were cleared away. They happened all at once. Like we talked about earlier, a volcanic action would cover it all up completely very quickly. This happened to be people had gone in and like, wow, what is this? Let's dig out Yellowstone, and they found these. Right, but that's how they were fossilized completely. This would have been one layer. This is why they could move it away. But when you find all of these layers of rock, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, my friend. So the trees were buried upright by a volcanic mud flow, allowing them to petrify in place. That's one. So that's one layer. It happened all in one day. Not year. Göbekli Tepe is 2,500 feet above sea level. Uh-oh. I'll have to look into that. Göbekli Tepe theories. It says completely happy eye series. Göbekli Tepe theories. I got pee on it. Gotta peek in the turd. Okay, let's see. Go Beckley Tepiai. Ooh, 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 ooh. Go Beckley. Okay, let's say. Theories about Covenantus that suggest it was a monumental ceremonial center of hunter-gatherers. Yeah, but what about the burying theory? Flood. 11,600-year-old site in Turkey features various alternative theories. Linking its 10-ton T-shaped carvings. Some theories suggest carvings in stone depict a comet strike causing a massive flood. These theories are considered fringe as they contradict mainstream archaeological findings. So it's interesting that they call them fringe, but not wrong, right? Because they're theories. So they're not wrong. So the mainstream theory is one way. I think it's cool that 100 years later we're cutting up grandfather down. Nature has become 100 times more interesting to me since I tell you what I love. When I believed exactly what you believe, I was taught exactly what you were taught. When in my head I was like, okay, there's more to it than this. There's so much more kick-ass stuff to learn. I think the problem with being taught in schools and getting a degree is they tell you now you know. And I didn't know. And there's a lot more to know. Like, why are there so many different types of schools? And whoever comes out of each type of school learns different things. A school chooses a curriculum, you know what I'm saying? And it's so kick-ass that people have done humans with freaking hands and shovels have come up with all of this stuff. But it's unfortunate that education started being bought and sold. But I have to agree, that's just awesome, my friend. Why rake? What up, M200? I must dart. All right, my brother. I'll be here tomorrow. Did you know the first humans recorded occurrence of a volcano was Pompeii? So Pompeii, that's what I was trying to say before when we were talking about the vestibuli. What was the name of the volcano that covered Pompeii? So they're just like this trees here in Yellowstone. They got covered immediately. They found a guy tickling his pickle, and they found a couple in the middle of baby making because they were covered so quickly by the pyroplastic flows. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely amazing. Their bread that they still had in the oven, preserved. It's freaking amazing. I love the fact that our own planet holds history for us to find. It's so freaking cool. I believe the Göbekli it was pre-flood. Agreed. I agree. I agree. I 100% agree with that theory. There's no way you can convince me of this for 40 years that something this high off the ground, this high above sea level, got completely flooded. Where did the dirt come from? How did it get buried? Something had to happen. The problem is some people are so anti-Genesis, and it's so odd. It's so odd. These people, they're scientists, and there's something that they cannot prove, but it's just it's not even a possibility. It's not even a possibility. And that's what really, what do you think about the Venezuelan snake they're trying to freeze? Please, this would be a joke. I haven't heard about it. Please let it be. Is it a real thing? They're freezing snakes. Bear last made their one. The president of Venezuela. Richard, what's your favorite type of tea? My favorite tea currently is a black tea. It's called Mother of All Teas. No, sorry, Mother of All Brews. MOAB. Mother of All Brews. It's the best iced tea I've ever. It's the best tea I've ever had, iced or not. Yeah, and I get the whole leaf. I've got these little freaking $2 Amazon stainless steel tea balls. A giant serpent supposed to be living. Okay, let's look that up. How you doing, Kim? Rich is making me worried. What do you do? The giant snake. Hold on. Do you drink Moabite tea? The tea I drink is it's called. Oh, damn it. Thank you. The Artillery Tea Company. I think it's called the Artillery Tea Company. Yes. Thank you very much, Kim. Freezing Venezuelan snake. Venezuelan rattlesnake. Hold on. What? Not using freezing. While some snakes. Hold on. What am I looking up here? Venezuelan. Oh, you're okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. You were joking about. Hold on. That was Kim. Oh, Mo like tea. Dude, my brain was really locked into freaking geology. You can't be slipping that in with me. What's your wall about? It's about all my 1,700, almost 1,800 subscribers. Okay. Freezing. Okay. Hold on. Let's see what she said again. The Bible is a history lesson. Listen, it's never been proven wrong. There's just been other theories against it. And even being a non-Christian back in the day, I still read it because it's 2,000 years old. That's freaking awesome. So even if it's fairy tales, they're 2,000-year-old fairy tales. I read comic books, for God's sakes. And people are like, you read fairy tales. Yes, and we're reading comic books next to each other. This guy was telling me, you read the Bible, dude? That's like fairy tales. And I'm like, we're reading the Avengers, dude. Yeah, this could be the Avengers of 2,000 years ago. And it's freaking kick-ass. Earl Grey, I'm never big fan. I always had a lot of sugar to Earl Grey. Okay, hold on. Kim said, what do you think about the Venezuelan snake they're trying to freeze? Okay, there's a highly venomous snake called the Bothrops venezuelensis, Elensis. It has super cold tolerance, and the venom is a special. So they're trying to make. If this is what you're talking about, Kim. They're trying to make a particular anti-venom to treat venomous snake bites during power outages. I guess during power outages they attack people. If that's what you're talking about, let me know. It's proven wrong because your imaginary version of Kylo Ren. Right. Kylo Ren. Right. Dude, I'm a 12th level paladin. My fireball spell was only right. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Real, I think you're up on the wall, brother. I think I put you up there yesterday, but I got you. Real me. David, that was funny. David. All right, we're up there 150 times. Slip jaw. Kim. Yeah, Kim. Who was I just? Okay, his name was Chris, I believe, right? Curtis.
Curtis. Curtis. Thank you for is Saeed or Bu? I have Saeed. I put Saeed up there yesterday. It is Saeed, right? I'll put Bu too. Bu on the wall. Bam. Man. It's a freaking hot here. Okay.
I broke my floor. Dude, that coffee is going through me. I gotta pee again. In the toilet. Alright, I gotta turn this heat down. It's freaking. Oh, dang. Okay. We're beginning motivational. What? Swooshki. Okay, I got you. Hold on.
Swoosh. SWOOSH kid. Swoosh kid. For $1 million. Dude, it's so freaking hot.
I tell you what, I don't know why. I don't know why I turned the heat on so hot in this freaking room. But I tell you what is cool is for me, Mud Monkey. Who's this creep? What up, Theo dog? What up, Mud Monkey? Julio, you can't be doing that, dude. Julio, what are you doing, dude? Not you, not you. Julio, you can't be hiding people. Racism or freaking child freaking shit. Not, I don't care what they say to me. Hold on, dude. If you're still there, I'll unblock you. Hold on 1 second. Settings. Settings. Community moderation and user management. Hidden viewers. I don't even know what his name is. All right. That's all right. Look. If it's not racist bullshit or child freaking stuff, I don't care what they say to me. Thank you, Rod. It's custom. Skateboarder, big skateboarder as a kid. Smacked the bottom of swimming pools, backs of cars, skateboards, elbows, bunch of stuff. Nothing. He said, who is this creep? But most everything on the internet is brain rot bullshit. So most people, when they join a live stream, they don't expect it to be a decent place to be. So we got to let them know that it is. You know what I mean? I mean, most people that come in saying stuff. Billy Ruff, hold on, was that his name? Mud Monkey. Mud Monkey. You guys should see the freaking names of the people that get banned. Like, I don't even know how YouTube lets them get away dropping the N bomb, hard R, straight up N bomb. All right, if he comes back in, I'll let it go. He didn't do anything. He said, who's this creep? It's all right. It's all right. Just yeah, just all mods. Yeah, I don't care what they say to me. If they're not being overtly racist or freaking predatory, yeah. I would say most people that come in here start off with a I love the cheap stuff. Right. If people can be funny, and his next line might have been funny, or it might have been racist, but we didn't know, and we'll never will unless he comes back in. I thought threats on the Pretty shooting. My YouTube got deleted. The opening scene of GTA 4. Damn, really? Your YouTube got deleted for the opening scene of GTA 4? Okay, so the Pretty, Michael Pretty, what was his name? Stephen Pretty, Michael Pretty, Pretty. Listen, I'm what you call sans politic. You can't, okay, if you're going to go protest and it goes away, what are you doing the next day? If you go protest and you die, what are you doing to do the next day? So the amount of change that you can make, it's protesting like that, is minimal. And the people that tell him to do that, like that, wanted him dead. You get a bunch of, think about this. Think about the Republicans that want to win elections. And you get a bunch of Democrats that are going out here and getting killed. It's just lowering the Democrat voter base. What are you doing? It's freaking... He's a martyr, but he can't... The next martyr will erase him. Because he's not a martyr for he didn't martyr for a cause. There's always been ICE. No one martyred. This is the problem. When people go through history, they're going to say he existed during the Obama administration. Do you know Obama gave Tom Homan the Medal of, I think it was he gave Tom Homan an award for helping him deport 5 million people. Obama did. Trump hired him because he did such a good job under Obama. And nobody was anti-Homan and anti-all this during Obama. So it's not going to turn out good for the martyrs that aren't being martyred. It's not like, he's not MLK. What was I saying? What was the, who was I? Oh. Obama giving Tom Homan an award. This was, look how young he is. Look at Barack Obama ICE commendation. This was, I think it was 17 years ago. And this ain't AI. So it's like, it's the same people doing the same work they were doing. Just because the marketers, the advertisers, let you see more of something now, doesn't mean anything's changed. So the outrage for something that's always happened and has happened under Democrat leadership and Republican leadership, it just depends who's going to die for it. You can't protest dead. A martyr for the cause of Looney Tune wackadoodles. Right. It doesn't make any sense. And his parents came out today. Yesterday, whatever, saying that he said he was going to go do this, and they asked him, please don't get involved with this. Like he told his parents this is what he was going to do, and so his parents. So it wasn't. He was accidentally there with a Sig Sauer with 2 magazines. You know, it's like, and you get so many people that are depressed, and the problem with me not being on the side of A or B is that I love everybody. And there are people that are doing this for suicide by cop. 100%. And the problem is the people that are dying are just seen as the other side's voters. It's selective outrage. How do you manage to talk all kinds of stuff? What's the drill? How do I manage to? I've been blessed in life. I've been absolutely blessed. I was placed in very big areas and very important times in my life. I was able to be in the music scene while it was coming up in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then I was able to be in the movie industry for the past 15 years. So I got to see everything. I got to see the bullshit coming up. I got to see the Republicans and Democrats. I got to film the Republican and Democrat contenders for senators and mayors, because we would have the fake White Houses, or the fake that they would come there to shoot at. And then they would be talking together, smoking cigarettes, drinking together, and then it would be their turn to be on set, and they'd be like, "That son of a bitch wants the blah, 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 dead." And then the other guy would come on and be like, "That son of a bitch." Blah, blah, blah. So they're just lying. They're just lying, and people are dying over it. It's what you call theater. If the government mattered like this, they wouldn't let you know. They wouldn't let you know what they were doing. They wouldn't. What we hear is on purpose. It's paid to be filmed and shown. If it's on the news and whatnot. Hey, you Hank, I saw you last night. What up, phone down? Don't read Hank's comment out loud. Oh, I already said it. Don't read. Oh, sorry. Sorry, phone. Political theater. Yes, yeah. See about sucking parties. My friend Jesus. My friend? Shut the fuck up. Somebody get now. That's now. Go ahead. Who was I just thinking of? There you go, Julio. You got it. There you go. Now you're learning. Stuff like that. Absolute wackadoos. And the problem is people have picked sides, Republican and Democrat, and they don't understand that Republicans piss off Democrats so they get themselves killed, and Democrats piss off Republicans so they get themselves killed. Don't get yourself killed. Don't be such a delicate flower. I'm not a delicate flower. I'm a YouTube partner now, so I've got rules to follow and stuff like that. The people that want you to say this stuff, I can't say it. If I say that out loud, yes, it would be funny, but the AI would take it down, and I have to do yada 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 yada. It's people that are just being right. Listen. We're not on this earth long enough. And the thing is, this is what I'm talking about. This dude is not mad at ICE. He was mad at himself because he didn't do anything about it before. He was 51. So he was alive during Obama. Obama separated children and from their families. He said, yes, that's what's going to happen. And none of the Democrats went, oh my God. So it's bullshit. And if people are in a mental state to go get themselves killed, they need help, not death. And I don't understand. Unfortunately, I do understand. But I wish I didn't understand. I wish more people understood this. I wish more people understood that you can't affect change dead. Martyrs are used as a rallying cry for a political cause that will change in a few years. Live through it and tell your grandkids about how crazy Trump was, how crazy Obama was, how stupid this guy was. It gives YouTube the vapors. It's not a good idea to bring a weapon. Yeah, it's not a good idea to bring a weapon to a potential vice president. Absolutely not. Obama's tan suit. Anyone can carry. That's all right. Absolutely. Listen. Absolutely. When one federal agent touches me, I'm laying out starfish. Do it. Because you know what? Tomorrow I can come back. Tomorrow I can spend time online convincing people or trying to convince people of what I believe in. If you've got a weapon on you and a federal officer or 5 grab you, starfish, lay on the ground, and then tomorrow I'll do it again. Or I'll do it online, or I'll do it differently. I left a second, and now we're talking about. Sorry about that, Bubby. What is there in the background? That you know that your name's on the wall, McLaren. This live stream has been tagged to simulate security threat shut down immediately. That can't be terminated. I love system settings. What if no party is the correct one? We're too afraid to get out of the group mindset. No party is the correct one. Listen, the problem with people are, what you need to do is you need to take a pen and a piece of paper, a pencil will do, and you write down your worldview, what you believe in, what you want for you and your family, and then you vote Republican or Democrat. You vote the person. If the mayor does what you want him to do and they're a Democrat, you vote Democrat for that person. And then if the governor, mayor, whatever, local does what your worldview is, you vote for them. You vote both ways. But they convinced people that it's like black people and white people. It's not. It's not Republicans and Democrats. It's not, no, that's bullshit. Because all Democrats want to stay in power and all Republicans want to stay in power. But the problem is you guys need to start saying, I'm going to pick you and I'm going to pick you. And then they're going to be like, what's going on with the numbers here? It's not working anymore. That's how you affect change. It's just like boycotting. But if you've been voting Democrat your whole life, you've got to vote Republican for a year to start breaking things up. You've got to. The Democrats of today are not the Democrats of 5 years ago. Look back 11 years ago. 11 years ago, they were MAGA. They just needed term limits. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. They need term limits or cage fights. So when you get some of these 30-something, 40-somethings in there with some 80-somethings, they get freaking, maybe it was a bad idea for me to stick around. What's that, Michelle? Welcome. Yes, I think that's time here too. Yes, 12:22. Jesus saves, believes in him for eternal life. He died for the sins of the world, and tomorrow is not promised. Jesus, absolutely, my friend. Listen, if you choose, going back to writing down what your worldview is, because the problem is, if you would have done that 10 years ago, you would not be a Republican and or a Democrat now, because both change. You need to vote for the person, not for the party. I've been doing it all the time. Tamika, what's that? Oh, believing in Jesus. Absolutely. You got to believe in something here. And Jesus is the best thing to believe in for me, at least so far. Rich's fax machine spitting the facts. I don't vote. I feel like all I do is vote. Guess what? I win. Hey, listen, if you're not an informed voter, if you're not going to say, I'm going to vote, but I'm going to choose the right person for this, not blue right down the line, red, no matter who, that is the problem. It's the group mentality. You can't be like, we're Democrats. You got to be like, no, my mayor's a Democrat. My senator's is a Republican. You know, because they can't group up on you. And then when new people come in, you keep voting because it's the same Democrat, same Republican. No, you got to shoot them out. Thank you, DJ. DJ Gouda. You have a good president this time, Trump. And DJ Kool-Aid, country cracker. Where are you at, DJ? I'm in Georgia. You say country cracker, I bet you don't. I believe in Jesus. I'm talking about voting. How you doing, Tamika? Gotta get good. The current president is something you'll never see again. Straight up honest. And listen, I didn't ever expect to be saying this, and it's helped my family and my friends and the people in my local community way more than I would have expected. I did not expect Trump to work to work on this. Silver We got silver a few years ago for $20 an ounce. Friday, it closed at $103 an ounce. That means the amount of money that we've had in our IRAs that were in silver and gold have went up 5 times. If you have $100,000 in silver, you now have $500,000. This is unprecedented. You have to decide if it's your family. Listen, after these wackadoos, Republican and Democrats get voted in and out and they come and go, your family and your community stay around. You've got to vote for your family and for your community. Especially because you're going to be here longer than the politicians. You're in Georgia as well. You know where Sharpsburg is, Tony? That's where I'm at. I was 6% overnight. It went up 6% overnight. It's unbelievable. Listen. I was not a MAGA. I was pissed off though during Biden that my IRAs and my my investments dropped to crap. If I would have voted Kamala this year, I didn't vote yet. I didn't vote, but if I would have voted Kamala, I would have been kicking myself in the butt because the trend line would have continued. It absolutely went up. Think about your families. Don't worry about what other people need done. You have a community. They have one too. They don't need you to help them. Whoever it is, they don't need you to help them. They've got politicians talking about it. They don't need you to help other communities. And I'm talking about political communities. Help the people around you. And if you can affect enough change in the people around you, screw the politics. But no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The people that spend 30 hours a day protesting online and everything, both sides, if they were out working and doing and building a business, they would be rich right now. America makes 1,000 new millionaires every day. Not more people get $1 million more dollars. 1,000 new people become millionaires every day in America. And it can be you. Don't spend your money on bullshit. The rich people are investing. You should be too. If you're one of the people that can get food stamps or anything like that, and you're one of the people that can sell your food stamps, take half that money and invest it in the stock market. If it stops, at least you'll have that will have grown. And I don't believe that. I mean, I can understand the feeling you think it's always going to come. It's always going to come. Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Dave. Go for it, Dave. Yeah, I didn't vote for either one. The candidates I voted for the professor. And super PACs. Don't allow politicians to make investments while office. Agreed. I think that's the whole problem. Is everyone thinks it's abortion and freaking religion. It's not. It's company. It's market manipulation. If they can convince you that if the government can tell you have to buy something, they know they're going to do that. So they're going to invest their money in whatever companies and industries they're going to tell you have to do to save the world, and then they're going to get super rich. David, shut the fuck up, dude. Somebody give him a 10-second timeout, and if he wants to come back, he can come back. You think I'm a phony streamer? You think I'm not a politician. I'm not selling you anything, dip shizzle. Pelosi's either the best stock. Yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. And this is the thing. How long are we supposed to watch? How long are we supposed to watch this happen? You know, and it's like, of course they're ripping everything off. Of course they're cheating. Why do you think there's all this outrage bullshit? Because they want you to vote certain ways to tell you that, oh my God, racism and blah blah blah, so that they stay in power and they can keep robbing it. Because they don't. If they ever leave office and someone else gets in and then looks at their books, they're going to jail at 80 years old. They don't want that to happen. This is what it's all about. He said, bread and circuses. Bread and circuses. Bring back the Roman Colosseum. Let them eat bread. Yeah, and it's upsetting. It's upsetting that you can be a musician, you can be an educator, and I'm not talking about in the school system because that got completely set up. The teachers make nothing, but the people that administer the teachers make $250,000 a year. The ran for president, I voted for him. I'm gonna run for president. Just kidding. You have a booger in your nose. Um, um, what's up, Philip? I voted Trump. So that's been the rest. I vote Trump. I hope Trump. Yeah, I vote Trump. Spend the rest of his life behind bars. This is what needs to happen. There needs to be a politician police force. FBI, not the FBI. We need an absolute. But the problem is, all of us have to stop being Republicans and Democrats, and we have to absolutely thank you, Blue Sky. All of us have to say, it's obvious now, you all are screwing us all over. It's time for all of you to go to jail. But they've got to vote it in. Well, you know what? Then there's going to have to be something, and we'll talk about it in the future. I have to think of something that's good. That's good. I have to think of something that's worth discussing, and I have to put some thought into it. Vance Steele, Link's terrifying. Can't allow him to win 2028. We need to all go out and take money from the bank on the same day. Here's the problem. You ready to hear this, Miles? This is why that won't work. You're the bank. You lend money to a bank. That's why they give you interest. You're the bank. You're the bank. That's why they give you interest. You loan them your money. Legally, you have to loan them your money. They give you interest that, or they wouldn't be able to take your money and start giving it away to other people and making other loans. It has to be an investment. When you deposit money into a bank, you're giving them a loan, and then and they're a business that takes that loan to loan out money. They can't just take your deposited money and give it out without giving you interest. You're the bank. And so that's already been wrapped up. They know that doesn't matter. That won't work because they only have to hold 10%. If you put in $10,000, if you put $100 in the bank, they have to hold 10 and they can loan 90 out to somebody else. That 90 goes into that same account in that same bank, and then they can loan out more of that, and they make more money. This is how value is added into the equation. The banks. But they make 90% more than what you put in there. You're the bank, so you can't pull it all out. And you would have to do it digitally, which means you would have to move it to another bank. If you walked up to a bank and asked them for $1 million that you had in your account, they would tell you it's 8-week wait to get that $1 million. They know what they're doing. But you can't. They don't have all the money in there. If you pull money out of the bank, you can't put it into your Cash App. So you would have to move it to another bank. The central bank is the main bank, Nate. The central bank, the Federal Reserve, the central banking system, and this is a problem. They don't teach anybody how money actually works. Like they tell you to be so afraid of debt, but they use debt to make billions of dollars. Thank you, Blue Sky. Thank you. Good night. Thank you, Blue Sky. Thank you, girl. Hey, and like I said, if you need it, hit me up on the Discord if you have any questions, Blue Sky. It's by design. No, Miles, 100%. They designed it that way, 100%. It's called fractional reserve banking. They only have to hold a fraction of your money, and then they can spend the rest out. They only have to hold 10%. So if you go up and you're like, I need $10 million that I have in my bank, they'll be like, it'll be 8 months, whatever. You can't just do it. And you've signed it, part of the contract. They don't have all your cash in the vault. I mean, so the people that could make the biggest change, the billionaires, they won't do that. We need a reset. Can we get the pass? Can I get the pass? G, what's up, OG? Who owns the Fed? Who owns the Fed? So the federal government, the Fed is self-owned. The Fed is, even though it's called the Fed, the Federal Reserve, that well is owned by the stockholders of the Fed are the governments. So the government owns the Fed. Hold on, but the people own the government. So the people own the Fed, but only the government can do business with the Fed, and the Fed prints the money. So if we say, oh my God, we're broke, we need $4 trillion more dollars, what happened during COVID? They printed $4 trillion more dollars. So you have to understand how value works. If you got cash, cash doesn't raise value. So if you put it under your bed, nothing happens. That's why rich people never hold cash. Very little of their wealth is in cash. They buy in assets. Assets is your cash working for you. It's growing in value, like silver, gold, housing. And that way you wake up in the morning and you've got more money. And you only get taxed on it when you sell that asset. So you own the house, and then you can get a loan against that house, and then have some cash. And then you no taxes. There's no taxes on loans. So this is all tax avoidance. We stay poor by paying taxes. Rich people don't pay tax. If you pay 40% of your money to taxes, you're making $100,000 a year. You're only making 60 because $40,000 a year is going to taxes. But if they make $10 million a year, $30 is going to tax, or whatever they can't write off at the end of the year. He looks like John Wick. Explain to me then, Nate. Explain it to me then, Nate. Let's see. Who owns the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve is owned by the quasi-public entity within the government. So the Board of Governments is the government agency, and the 12 regional reserve banks. So the government owns the Federal Reserve with the people. Like I said, us, we're the people. And then so there's no private control, so you can't go in and get any money out. The Fed is only accountable to Congress and the members appointed by the president. So it's not funded by congressional appointments, but the profits. After paying expenses and a legal 6% dividend on member banks, the Fed transfers most of its earnings to the Treasury. The government gets the results of the Federal Reserve. Yeah. Richard is CIA, I know that. I love that. I'm just smart. Listen, when you don't spend a lot of time in school and you love learning, you'll learn so much more. I could not sit there and learn math for an hour or science for an hour. I couldn't do it. I had to say, I want to build something. I want to do something. Hell, okay. And then if I had to figure out math to figure out how it worked, I would learn that part of math. But I didn't sit there and learn Algebra 1 for a year or semester or whatever. I just couldn't do it. I learned a lot more. Hyperinflation's gone crazy since the end of the gold standard in 71. Do you want to know that? Do you know that Zimbabwe has a $100 trillion bill? $100 trillion bill? Zimbabwean $100 trillion bill. So they ripped off their country so much that the banking that it went so the hyperinflation went so high that it cost $20 trillion for a loaf of bread. So they had to print all this money because they didn't have anything worth value. So the value, like, it absolutely went out of control. And they had to print that. And that's before it collapsed, obviously. I wish we were born, but think about it. This is propaganda too. So so people see it and they say $100 trillion. Well, like, why do you think they named it the dollar? It's not the U.S. dollar. It's the Zimbabwean dollar, but they named it a dollar on purpose. They could have called it the or whatever. So basically, what I have learned is Israel can't trust the money, and when that saying Israel to be playing, got banned. I'm not gonna ban you, brother. Listen, I'm anti everybody. I'll figure it out in the end. I mean, as much information as I can get. I'm not I'm not anti-Israel. I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not anti-Palestine. I'm not pro-Palestine. Listen. I'm live and let live, die and let die. Voting day should be public holiday. It definitely needs to be. It definitely needs to be. It needs to be a federal holiday. They need to stop mail-in votes. They need to stop computer votes. They need to stop all that. They need to make it a federal holiday so everybody can not work and go stand in lines and vote. Because of course, it's like they got meth addicts that have been found with 900 votes in a backpack that he was meant to stuff into one of those lock boxes, those drop boxes, those COVID drop boxes. Right, so how many other people have did that? How many meth addicts and coke addicts and heroin addicts and fentanyl addicts are being paid by whoever? You know, the companies that are meant to feed the homeless. Do you know what they do? They communicate with the homeless, they feed them, and then, hey, if you're willing to put 900 votes in this box, I'll give you 10 grand. And that's the way, that's what appears to be going on. There was one drop box. What up, Fish Sticks? There was one drop box. Only 19 people visited. They had cameras on it the whole time. 19 people had 9,000 votes in it. 9,000 votes. Now, and the thing is, I don't know if they're a Democrat or Republican. I'm guessing they're both. And I don't care because I know they're both wackadoodle. And the problem is the people that run the people that are in the government, they feel like they're our rulers, Democrat and Republican, and they think they deserve to be rich. Remember, we only see how rich the people are that show us on the internet. We don't know how really rich Bob Wackadoo that lives in some crazy property down the street that doesn't even have an internet account has got like $3 trillion or whatever. We don't know that, but the government sees that because it's in the tax base, and they're like, I rule you, I deserve that. And that's the problem. They deserve to be rich, so they do these wackadoodle ass things. And if they can't get rich, they just want to stay in power because at least they have that to post on the gram. Cooping still a thing? Yeah, cooping or coping. I need a factory reset. It seems like it, brother. Bro, have a great day. And also, shout out to you, Bro Fest, you freaking wackadoodle. How you doing? Roll me. Roll me. But here's another thing. I think I would prefer there to be a good king than a bunch of asshole freaking wackadoodles on both sides of the government. It's not just because there's a king, it's bad. If a king was awesome and loved his people, that would be great. You know, so it's just like, I'm not anti-king, and I'm not anti-throwing this government away. I'm full about it. But the problem is the socialists want to move that in. Socialism's failed. Why can't we come up with a new method? Why are they just teaching people to try to bring socialism back in? Why not come up with a new form of government that's not as wacky? You know, and it's like they don't even try. Nicholas J. Fuentes. Yeah, I gotta look into that guy, man. Only thing I really saw earlier today was that, I mean, I saw things with him before, definitely. But I heard today that him and Candace Owens are grouping up or something like that, so I gotta look at them. Right, not me. Yes, we don't have a good king. Right. I agree. But I would rather have a good king than a bunch of shitty politicians. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if we're being honest with everything, I'm tired of everybody lying about everything. Too. Everything's a lie. Everything's deception. Everything's propaganda. It gets old. Because socialism idea isn't good, but it can't. The problem is, I'm a realist. Of course, we talked about high socialism in college, a bunch of the kids and everything. I was a punk rocker. I was anarchist. It doesn't work. The problem with socialism now is the intellectuals that are pseudo-intellectuals want power. And that's what they want. They want a power grab. They won't put socialism in properly. And the thing is, in order to get socialism properly installed, you need a capitalistic or an government to get that set up. Because then, as soon as the United States goes to shit, who's going to set up the socialists? Who gets to be the haves and have-nots of socialism? Who chooses that? Is it going to be the college professors? And this is the problem. How do you set it up? Well, we're going to see Atomic, right? We're going to see. It'd be nice to have coalitions. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot out there more than anyone knows. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Academics spoke out against USSR. Not all of them. Not all of them. Most academics in liberal colleges, at least, are pro socialist. But yeah, yeah. I mean, in both. Yeah. I mean, that's like saying men say blah blah blah. Yeah, some men do, some men right. You know what I mean? Most deadly flood event in Dad. Most flood event down. Hold on, what down the what? Most deadly flood event in Massachusetts, Mill Flood River, May 16th, 1874. A dam in the Mill River in western Massachusetts collapsed due to sudden release of water. We had congressional term limits like yesterday. Yesterday. The problem is it's everybody knows that they're robbing the treasury. Everybody knows they're just pounding money into their pockets as fast as they can. And they know that once they leave office, if someone gets their office that didn't like them, they're going to be like, oh, look at all this. And they're going to go to jail. And they're going to go to jail at 80 years old. Right. So that's not going to happen. I got my own coalition. Right. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I tell you what I do, I'm hopeful about. I'm hopeful that we do see I'm hopeful that we do see the I hope that the new people, the young people that come into Congress aren't afraid to throw the old people in Congress in jail, Republican and Democrat. If you did something fucked up with our money, you're gone. That's the way it should be. But dude, but when you get voted in the 12th time in a row, you're like, my comments are showing to you. I think YouTube mutes black screen profile names. Black screen. Oh, I see you now, Chosen. I mean that right there. At least are you allowed to? Are they allowed to? They're all owned by. Yeah, by your APAC. The Anunnaki. So Anunnaki is an interesting thing, and I don't want to talk about that this stream because I feel like we're probably going to talk about that for a few hours, and I'm about to be going to bed soon. But yeah, I definitely want to talk about them probably tomorrow's stream. The country has actually succeeded that follow the country. What country? None have. And this is the problem. You have to convert democracy to socialism. The problem is the only people can do that are the people that are in power in the democracy who will just put themselves in power in the socialist government. It's not going to work. The only way you can, yeah, it doesn't work. It's not going to work. I mean, it's not going. We're all going to end up as freaking slaves. Arnold left. Europe, Supreme Court limit suit. Yes. It's like politicians have tenure. Exactly. I agree. Democracy always turns out into oligarchy. Yep. Everything does, though. Everything does. Because it's human nature for freaking wackadoos to want everything. Greed is in human nature. You can't change that. And that's the problem. Like it'll always be. And the problem is when you get super rich and you get super paranoid because all the people that expected you to do socialism right now see that you're just robbing them, you're going to be waiting for a bullet. So then you're going to start having people executed. So the paranoid, it happens with everybody. They get super paranoid when they're the rulers and because they know that they've done fucked up and then they end up killing 50 million people. So I have to look at it from both sides. Sick. What time tomorrow for the Anunnaki combo? Okay, so I do an early stream, but how about it's what time? It's 12:48 here, so it's the Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do an early stream, probably like from like 10 to 1, and then I'm going to do a stream from 3 to 5, which will be short. But then so we can do it then, or the 5 to midnight-ish stream. Any one of the later streams is fine with me. Any one of the later streams. Canada is a mixture. And Canada just voted to leave. What's it called? Augusta, Alberta. So they just voted to leave Canada. So now they're applying for statehood in the United States supposedly this week. They want to be the 51st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th states. Like that's what's going on now. But everybody's bitching about ICE and everything. They don't see what's happening. They don't see that this is a huge worldwide change. As we got people out here, so like the people that should be protesting to keep China, Canada, a country and whatnot, are out here doing other shit, and they know it. Why do you think Trump hasn't called in the Insurrection Act yet? We're an autocracy. It's not human nature. It's greed ends up, yeah. It's part of human nature. Absolutely. People always end up not. I'm not saying every human, but it's definitely part of human nature. And humans aren't a monolith. But in human groups, in group dynamics, in human nature, greed does end up becoming a rotting force. And it's very rare. Usually, greed is what destroys every system. Xander there. The real corruption is a system where money legally influences policy more than others do. I saw a sign, someone in the yard said keep ICE out, and I was like, that's not how winter works. The biggest mistake was separating church and state. I agree. It will be very difficult. That's why you have to have freedom in the Constitution. I agree. But Trump's doing away with the Constitution. I agree. Trump's Minister for Information. There's a where do you get your information from, and how do you decide if it's misinformation or not? I worked in the movie industry for 15 years. Talk about misinformation. They do, and they know it. They know they get told what to say, and they're like, okay, we're gonna make this, and then we're gonna leave the set up because we're gonna record it 3 times, or we're gonna say 3 different things that are antithetical to each other. They want to leave. You should be able to leave too. Yeah, I agree. The real problem isn't immigrants; it's a system that treats people paperwork as humans. I agree that the problem is never immigrants. The problem is laws. The problem is laws. The problem is greed. The problem is the people that want the money and shit, and they want the free labor. Do away with the law. They don't do away with the laws. They just don't follow the laws. And then you get the people that work hard and they see this and they get resentment. And then you have this. This is what happens when resentment overflows. Out in the shop, tooling on my Polaris in the radiator, super dirty cold weather. Got to get something done. Understood, EnviroPro, my brother. There's just a lot of us out there just think the way that we do. Like the SMC, the problem is that some don't understand the enmity between the church and the synagogue. So you are aware libertarian. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, let me. So right now, right at this moment, and here's a problem. I mean, at this moment in time, I'm a centrist libertarian, financially conservative, socially libertarian, not liberal. And the problem is liberal has been completely co-opted. Libertarian's not anarchy, brother. So I absolutely, this is why I said this is the problem. You can't you can't be put in you can be put in a box, but you shouldn't be. Like I wouldn't join the Libertarian Party. Is, you know what I'm saying? But if you want the easier way to explain it without having to go through like how you would handle 15 different processes in life, yes, that would be closer to the closest thing that I would say. All right, Corn. I don't know why you'd say libertarian anarchy, especially if you're also a socially financially conservative and Libertarians Association with Anarchy. Okay, called Libertarian Anarchists or Anarcho-Capitalists. Okay, for advocate for the elimination of the state for favor of private property, free markets. So these aren't libertarians. These are libertarian anarchists or anarcho-capitalists. So a libertarian is advocate for maximum individual liberty and minimal government. Anarchy means no government. Both intervention in both personal and economic masters, centering on voluntary exchange, private property, and non-aggression. Not anarchy. So it's not anarchy because it asks for certain. With anarchy, there's no roles and there's no what the hell's the term I'm looking for? Rights, because there's no nothing. You gotta change one since your punk days. Agencies need sunset laws. Honestly, it's not just Democrats. And no, of course it's not just the Democrats. No, it's absolutely not. The problem is if you think it is, that's a problem because it obviously isn't. But the gang mentality and and the group think is a big problem because then you'll never get out of it. It's just like it's not good. It's not good because the Democrats they're not the same people that they were 10 years ago. They don't vote the same way. And so everybody says I'm a Democrat no matter what. The people that do say that, what if the Democratic Party changed their voter base, their morals and their worldview didn't change, but they're still voting Democrat because they did all do. Same with Republican, and this is a problem. This is a problem. I used to think I was a libertarian. I believed in the Catholic social order. Hey, what's up, Blackhawk? School's supposed to prepare you for life, but half the time prepares you for death. American schools haven't stopped preparing you for life once manufacturing left America. When I was in school, we learned how to learn. We learned problem solving was the biggest thing that we learned. We learned wood shop, metal shop, lathe work, all kinds of stuff, because we had a market for manufacturing in America. After World War II, the big push to the American people, or the American government, was to make us the manager class. Everywhere else in the world would build our shit. We would tell them what to build and we would design and invent everything. Well, come to find out, some people need to work in the freaking mines. Some people don't have, but it was believed back then that IQ can be taught. And then when you then gerrymandering, I agree with that too. And those who crucified Christ, not very nice people. Wow, how'd I just skip the comment? I didn't see it. What are you talking about? I didn't see your comment, asshole. Yeah, you did. So if it was a wackadoodle comment, VG, YouTube moderates it. Coward. What do you mean? You have a dog. You have your dog as your profile picture. And you're calling me a coward, the guy that's got my whole life on the internet. And yeah, it's got moderated. It not by my moderators. It got moderated by YouTube. I've got set to zero. I got set to zero moderation. No, it's not there. VG needs to learn there's something called YouTube moderation. He just did. Coward. SSRIs are messing up a lot of people. A lot of people. The people that think that they're the only people in the room, most people that I've met in the movie industry and the music industry have been like that. And the ones that are really bad about it have been on SSRIs. How does he think he's in here? There's 165 people. Oh, I'm sorry, more than that. There's almost 500 people that came through here. There's 14 people right now, and his goes in there. He obviously says something that gets it moderated, and then he calls me a coward because it didn't show up. Why do you think that you were the most important person in the chat? Obviously, it's Blackhawk. My comment get plenty of moderation talking about the synagogue. Yeah, and I got moderation turned off, so it's whatever. And what's crazy is like if I would just show my band list. Like band lists, people have names that are just straight up hard R, a bunch of different stuff. And so how that got typed and I'll be allowed to be is wacky. One person in 100 even knows what SSRI stands for. Serotonin, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. Right. Yeah, man. What a nut job, man. It sucks. Look, I was one of them when I was young. And it was the same thing. And one of the big things, I tell a lot of people, one of the big things that changed everything for me was B12 absorption. I used to smoke cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes, B12 gets converted into cyanocobalamin. So you end up having, even though you show a B12 level in your blood, and they may say you've got fine B12, you don't. You've got cyanocobalamin, which is a non-active form of B12. So I started taking methylcobalamin, and it changed my life. I got off of everything. I don't even drink anymore. I don't smoke pot. What do you think about mandatory national service, non-military, build a civil union again? Once we get manufacturing back in the country, I think it's gonna be completely different. When people start to create stuff, even if it's for a company, even if it's different. You get to see. People used to drive by and say, "I made that toilet, that fire plug. I made this light post." No one gets to see what they've created anymore. It's just freaking spreadsheets. You dork and old greasy weirdo, says Peter. Go Ice and King Donald. Hi from Russia. Hey Nasta. The same exact comment makes it on for several other lives. You paused it at mine and read the next one. Is anybody see what VG4414 says? Can they please copy and paste it into the chat? I do not see it.
You want me to prove it to you, Dingleberry? You paused on my message. Dude, you think way too highly of yourself. VG, the same exact comment. VG, wow, that's wild. Just skip my comment, coward. You're not there, you fucking idiot. Stupid ass.
I'm tired. I'm ready for bed now. Yeah, I had a cup of coffee about an hour ago. I quit smoking pot after 30. No, it never showed. Tech platforms should show counter perspective for every three places how they put partisan content they consume. Right, and they could. Listen, they absolutely could. That's 100% by design. 100% by design. They absolutely could. Think about what Facebook did the opposite. They made up a fake a fact check. A company called Fact Check. So when they said this is fact checked, it was from the company called Fact Check, but it wasn't actually facts. It was whatever they were said to do. Greenland isn't safe, but tweeting about it. Leaving like and subscribe. Thank you, 2009 Lifeguard. You'd have a good reading too. I have never heard of you swear. Oh, sorry, Blackhawk. I try my best not to. Greenland's in talk for a deal. What are you talking about, Julio? Greenland's in talks for a deal. No, hold on. So yes, I don't know what he said, but hold on, Trey. They definitely are. So they said. So apparently there's a deal right now saying $100,000, $500 billion in gold to the Danish government, and $100,000 to every resident of Greenland, bringing it up to $759 billion, almost $1 trillion. That's what they're talking about right now. I don't know if it's went away or not, but hold on, Julio. We're having a conversation now. And everything. Listen. There's thousands of things going on in the news right now. There's thousands of things going on in the news right now. If it missed his algorithm, it missed his algorithm. It's fine, Julio. It's fine. You're fine, Trey. Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, so that's it. So almost $1 trillion. So whether that gets accepted or not, we don't know. But that's what's going on. Let's see, 1 o'clock in the morning. All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all being here. I'll be back on. I'm gonna try to be on it. So got to see what's going on with the weather in the morning first. I got to make sure the house is secure. I got to make sure the chickens ain't frozen and everything's cool with that. So I'm gonna try my best to be on by 10 Eastern. We'll try to be back before then. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate y'all being here.